Here's a charcoal gray sanded grout that we just bought, and we showed a video of how to mix it. I'll try to put a link on it. It's the Poly Blend Sanded Grout, and this is charcoal color. I think this is going to work better than the DeLorean gray that I tried previously. It was this stuff right here, which came out like a steel gray color, and I really want something darker. So I want to try applying this using a Ziploc bag. So here I have a new Christmassy Ziploc bag, and I'm just going to add some in here. The grouts on the grout spaces on the luxury vinyl tile are so small. We're talking, you know, maybe 1/8 of an inch or and narrow and shallow, don't you think? Really shallow. Okay, so I'm just taking this stick, putting it in, and then wiping it off my hand on the inside. You could also take it, put it in, and then squeeze like so. And I'm just going to get it down into one corner and basically do the same idea as piping a cake like this. Okay, which I have more experience with than I do with grouting. So I'm going to cut off a tiny little tip here and see if it's big enough to get it into the grooves. So here we are by the sink where I'm starting under the sink because we'll be covering it up. This is the DeLorean gray, which looks a little bit darker on the screen than it does in real life. In real life, it's a steel gray. So, and this is the dark grout that I'm gonna try. So I'm gonna take this Ziploc bag and just snip off a tiny little tip like so. I think I'm gonna do a tiny bit more than that. And I'm gonna go right over to here. Can you see this on camera? And we'll see if we can squeeze it out. Right into that spot there. You want me to go up against the wall?
No, it doesn't matter. Yeah, it's darker than the other stuff. That's for sure.
What do you think about that? Oh, it's dark, isn't it? I need to get the float. I have an idea that I could, without a float, I could probably just press it in like this on a diagonal, like so. But I'm gonna go grab my float and we'll try it with that and see how it works. I really do want to work it into the hole, so to speak. A little bit of water on the float. What do you think? Going at a 45-degree angle. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit more on that to make sure, because I want it to be as full as possible. That's gotta be faster than putting it on with a float, don't you think? What do you think, buddy?
Looks pretty good.
Put it on and move on.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to cleaning up the excess. That doesn't look fun at all.
Does this look live?
Sure is.
Oh, let's move it around the corner. All right. Oops. I gotta use 2 hands, I think. I feel like there's a little bit of a lump at the top. Okay, come over here. I hear a little kid. Is that Sophie? Okay, every once in a while I get a lump, so I'm just gonna squeeze at the tip and that clears it out. All right, I'm gonna bring you back in a little bit when we start cleaning it up, okay? You can pause it for now. So I've been playing around with a couple different ways of getting the grout into the grooves, and wanted to show you what my conclusion is. Here are some options. You might not have a float tool, a float that you can use, but I'm using a Ziploc bag here with grout in it, and you could go along and shove it into the grooves. Can you do a close-up? When I come around, let's get a close-up if possible. So I'm shoving it into the grooves. I really want to have as little bit of deep depth, narrow depth, is that what you want to call that? To each line of grout, because I don't want it to trap dirt. It's probably inevitable to have a little bit of a divot there. So I'm gonna come up here. Let's finish this row right here. So I've been doing this. This is one technique that I've been doing. And then I was taking a putty knife and shoving it in and going at a 45-degree angle. I don't think this scratches the floor. It's possible that with a sanded grout it would. I'm obviously not too worried about it. So that's one technique. It's kind of fast. It's a little bit more precise. I'm not sure that that's any faster than, can you pass me the grout over there to your other side? That's any faster than grabbing grout. I want to be able to do it where you can see me. So grabbing some grout on this and then going down the line and shoving it into the groove and then wiping it off at a 45-degree angle. This, if you were doing this professionally, certainly this is what you would do. But there's something to be said for the Ziploc bag and also for the putty knife in trying to get it really flat, because this tends to leave little divots. So I'm not sure which I like better. What do you think? You got an opinion? So it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other, but you could do either way. I'm gonna let this set up for a little bit and then come back and wipe this off. Or sometimes I come back like this and take it off like that so there's less there. I've done it both ways. I don't know that using the Ziploc bag is that much faster. If you had just a tiny little spot, or if you didn't have a float, I would definitely do this way with the Ziploc and the putty knife. All right, I'll see you back in a little bit when I wipe some of this off. It's been about 10 minutes, and I'm gonna start wiping off some of this with a damp sponge. And I'm just gonna go in circles, like so, turning, using parts of the sponge that are cleaner, and then rinsing it out. And with a dark charcoal colored grout, it's gonna be a lot of rinsing. I'm gonna rinse it out in my bucket. Squeeze out as much water as I can, and then go back and do some more. And then come back in a couple hours and take off the haze, what's left on top. So we're going to be going shopping, looking at cabinets after all this is drying. Let's see. This corner's a little bit hard to get to. Get some more up there. Here. All right, I'll see you in a little bit. So this is the floor after I grouted and then removed the excess. It still has the haze on it. I went back and removed more with a sponge just to kind of get the majority of it. It's so dark, we were a little nervous that it was going to stain the flooring. So this is how I'm gonna leave this part here for a couple hours to dry as I continue to do this section over here and finish up the kitchen. I think it's gonna look fine. I don't think it's quite standard to have the dark grout, but I think it'll look good. And since this is probably gonna be a short-term rental, I don't wanna have people spilling stuff and, you know, getting really dirty, and obviously dirty because of the dark. If I use the light grout. There you go. All right, that's the update for now, and I'll show you when it's almost done. Here you go. I have wiped most of the extra grout off, and I did some of the removal of the haze off in that corner right over there, the pants, right over there, and still need to do this section a little bit more. You can see it, and but it's looking pretty good. And I'll probably be back tomorrow to finish up wiping the rest of this off. It's really just a fine little, I think it'll be easy to get the rest of that up once the grout has set a little bit better. And I want to thank you for watching. If you have questions, comments, or suggestions, write them down below and I will try to answer you. And overall, I think it went pretty well. Thanks for watching and have a great day.